I suppose you could call it that. Kano gave a wry chuckle at his partner's lack of shame. There he is! Kuze's voice chirped suddenly through Kano's earpiece. The man in the black coat. He's not Japanese, looks to be in his early 30s. Previously, Achi got mixed up with Kano and the police, but now another man has appeared instead. By changing what Achi did, you've also changed Kano's story. I think this is going to get really, really complicated. Because we're going to have a whole bunch of different characters, and all of their decisions are going to affect each other, which is going to be really, really confusing. That's going to be kind of crazy. A foreign man had emerged from the crowd, about 15 feet from where Hitomi was standing. He made his way toward her, his expression blank. Yeah, I guess he does look kind of foreign. He didn't match the description Hitomi had given them, but Kano felt a jolt of nerves all the same. Maybe the kidnapper was using an accomplice to snatch the ransom payment. Alright, Sasayama raised an eyebrow. This may be our guy. This was it. Kano swallowed the lump in his throat. He bent his knees, ready for action. Blood rushed to his leg muscles, banishing the stiffness that had begun to take hold. Was this the culprit? Or perhaps... The stranger took hold of the attaché case. It was him. En masse, the detectives began to close in. Let's go, Kano. On it. Sasayama and Kano leapt into action. But they never expected what happened next. With the case clutched in both arms, the man veered suddenly, running right toward them. Oh, do we have gameplay here? Huh. Kano's story has suddenly hit a keep out. Keep out refers to a point in the story where your progress is currently stopped. In other words, to advance between a keep out, you need to jump from another protagonist's story at 10:30. So at 10:30, Achi has the text "young man in a suit" set in red keywords. Checking these red keywords will allow you to jump from Achi's story back to Kano's. Interesting. Now head back to Achi's story and keep an eye out for that. Key phrase. Huh. Okay, so we switched, but that wasn't the end of Achi's story. Alright. So, yeah. But one thing I want to try, though, even though it's kind of crazy, I want to try seeing what happens if we do approach the girl as Achi. This might just be the end of the story, but let's just see what happens. I mean, I assume we'll just end up in the interrogation room, right? And that'll be a bad end. But it might be a different bad end. And I kind of want to see what happens if we get it. Oh, it won't let me. Well, we can do that later then. But first, I gotta dump this trash. He looked around to see if there was a garbage bin nearby. Huh? A man had come up beside the girl. He was dressed in black, and he wasn't Japanese. It looked like they were having a conversation. The girl nodded tensely at something the man said. Achi stared. There's Kano and Sasayama in the back. Something tells me that's not her boyfriend. The girl handed the attaché case over to the man. He took hold of it with his right hand and began walking briskly away. Oh man, just like... We've got Achi here, and he's like this Good Samaritan character who's probably gonna get wrapped up in all of this just because he's just such a good guy. Whoa! A nearby homeless man suddenly leapt over Achi and broke into a run as if he'd been waiting for this very moment. So this man is named Yuji Sasayama, a detective with the Shibuya precinct. Oh yeah, it's just him. Known as the cosplay detective due to the strange outfits he wears while on stakeouts. He's partnered with Shinya Kano for the kidnapping investigation. Sprinting alongside him was a young man in a suit. So there's some words in the text that appear in red. Red text denotes important keywords that let you jump between different protagonists' stories. This allows you to shift between the characters at specific points. These can also allow you to clear out a keep out in another character's story and let you read on. If you come across red text, press X to underline it, then press A. A window will appear, allowing you to jump from one protagonist to another at that point. Then, press A to continue the other character's story after the keep out. Give it a try. You know, I'm definitely seeing the influence here. Like, it seems like this is really something that inspired Danganronpa and Zero Escape. Like, I'm seeing a lot of influence there anyway. So I wonder how this works, like, in-universe. If there's any, like, reason for it, or if it's just a purely gameplay thing. Where it's just, like, we need to know information as the player that lets us continue onward. But I wonder if, like, that information gets transmitted at all to Kano somehow, or what? I guess we're gonna find out. By performing a jump from the screen, you can advance another protagonist's story past a keep out. Press A to confirm, and jump over to Kano's story. I think what's going to happen is it's going to be like an action that Achi performs in order to help out Kano here. Let's go, Kano. On it. Sasayama and Kano leapt into action. Alright, we did it. Jump successful. In 428, you will often need to jump to get past another character's keep out. Jump from red keywords to clear a keep out. Keep this in mind as we advance through the story. Okay, won't be any more tutorial messages for a while. If we get stuck somewhere, try changing protagonists or making different decisions to advance. Cool. So we're now out of tutorial land. You can now use the time chart and main menu. From the main menu, you can access gameplay explanations and adjust settings. Press Y to open the time chart, and start to open the main menu. So can we actually save now? No, we can't. This game doesn't seem to have, like, a free save. I mean, it's got the time chart, which is as good as anything. So it's like, it saves when we hit a certain time period, I guess. And then we can just go there from the time chart, is the idea. Also, we've got this bad ending list. This is the list of bad endings. Here we can check for hints as to why things ended as badly as they did. Alright, so next save, I'm gonna actually switch back to Achi and go just try and get his bad end real quick. But before that, they never expected what happened next. With the case clutched in both arms, the man suddenly veered, running right toward them. Huh? Catching sight of the two detectives, the suspect staggered to a halt, then bolted off in a new direction. Kano whipped off his costume glasses and followed in hot pursuit. At the crosswalk, the signal changed to red and the flow of foot traffic abruptly halted. Just as quickly, hundreds of cars all lurched back into motion. There was no escape for the culprit now, or so it appeared. The converging cops slowed their pace, confident their man was cornered. Then the foreigner barreled straight into the intersection, dodging between the oncoming cars without any hesitation. Damn. The mob of detectives came to a halt, not eager to rush to their deaths along with him. Kano, however, remained in hot pursuit, charging into the traffic at the crossing. Kano, are you crazy? Come back! Kano heard Sasayama shouting, but his feet kept carrying him onward. With shouts and sirens echoing all around him, Kano closed in on the foreigner. Just a little closer, and he'd be in tackling range. He leaned forward, preparing to pounce, his eyes fixed on the culprit's feet. It was now or never. Kano, back off! Don't take him down! It was Kuze shouting through Kano's earpiece. Huh? Kano hesitated in surprise. Had he really just been ordered not to apprehend the criminal? Let him go for now. The real perp is someplace else. Huh. Perp is police jargon for perpetrator. Here, Kuze is referring to the fact that the principal offender in the case must be elsewhere. What had happened to the plan? He'd been told all personnel were to secure the area ASAP. Didn't HQ want them to catch the perpetrator? Arrest team, stay on the foreigner's tail. Police team dedicated exclusively to the task of apprehending the criminal. While a kidnapping case is in progress, the roles of the officers involved are carefully designated so that every officer is ready to take immediate action as the situation develops. Typically, tried and true veteran MPD officers are put in charge of teams for breaking into buildings or apprehending the suspect. So, I don't know why he just ordered Kano to stop there. Forensics teams, get busy cross-referencing photos. This is a team deployed by the MPD to handle the actual tests and techniques of on-scene investigations, such as collecting and comparing fingerprints and analyzing photos of suspects. Even if this foreigner was only an underling hired for this one task, the police had now tipped their hand that they'd been lying in wait. If they didn't lock things down now and get more info on the kidnapper, a girl's life might be at stake. Kano recalled another maxim from his Dick diary. Dick Dictum number 12. Always assume a worst-case scenario. If Kuze had told him to let this guy go, that implied he was counting on the team that was now in position. But if the crook had planned a way to break through the police dragnet and escape with the ransom, and he succeeded, what was the right call here? Alright, so it just saved. Should he take the guy down, or back off after all? So personally, I'm inclined to just follow orders, because we don't have the full picture. We don't know why he ordered us to do that, and that's what chain of command is all about. So personally, I would just let the officers chase after the guy. Kano had his own job to do. But I'm sure the right choice is probably going to be A. Still, for this time, I think we're going to choose B. But we're not going to do that yet. We're actually going to go to the time chart. See, we've got this. Yeah, this is the choice here, I think. So let's try right here. Okay, so this is a jump. That's like an actual mechanic. Is the red words cause you to jump. Alright. But that we could have not jumped as well, right? We could have kept going. So that's interesting as well to take note of. But before any of that, I want to just clear this off real quick. So, what kind of person makes a young lady lug around something heavy like that? Achi figured he'd offer to carry it for her. The girl kept shifting her grip. It was clearly a strain for her to keep holding the case, but she didn't set it down. Whatever was inside, it had to be something pretty important. Achi made his way over to her, bristling inwardly at whoever had left her waiting like this. If I were you, I'd bust the head of the punk that's kept you waiting. Huh? That thing looks heavy. Let me carry it for you. The girl stared back at Achi with wide eyes, but said nothing. Really, I'm happy to help. I'm not going to steal it or anything. His tone was hurried, and he impulsively reached for the attaché case. Like, I get that he's a good guy, but it also doesn't look very good when he does this. Like, even just, like, outside of any context, if you just go up to a woman and start, like, asking her, like, to carry her things for her, it's kind of weird. An instant later, a group of men descended on him from all sides. Whoa, hey, what the hell? For an instant, Achi froze, unable to process just what was happening. He tried to run, but the man shoved him unceremoniously to the ground and held him there. They were shouting about something or other, but he couldn't make out their words. The more he tried to struggle, the harder they held him down. What the hell is this? You could tell us that down at the precinct. A man in a suit knelt alongside him, flashing a police badge. The badge identifies the bearer as a member of Japanese law enforcement. The old-style badge case included a small notebook for the bearer to write in. But the modern version is modeled after that used by the FBI, where the badge case contains only the badge itself. What? You're arresting me? The heck did I even do? Instead of answering, they shoved Achi into the backseat of a patrol car. He gazed dejectedly out the window. He could still see the girl. She didn't have the case anymore. And now she was talking to a man with a cane. Was he the person she'd been waiting for? No, that's a completely different person. I think that might be like our mastermind. A moment later, the car turned the corner, and the two of them slipped out of view. Or come to think of it, it could also be like a member of the police, but I doubt that. I doubt that they just lose track of her. But then again, I don't know. I guess there was a lot of chaos there. Someone could have, like, found her in the chaos. Achi slumped back in the seat, sulking and silent. Several hours passed. After a bunch of pointless questioning, the police finally determined he was innocent, and his father came to pick him up. For a long while, Achi just stared intently out the window of the car. Finally, his father caught his attention. The old man seemed to be in a surprisingly good mood, despite having to collect his son from the jailhouse. Achi, there's something I want to talk to you about. If it's about me taking over the shop, now is not the time, okay? No, it's not that. Look, let's just get home first. Sure, don't feel like going out today anyway. But now I'm curious, what do you want to talk about? I got some good news. I think you'll be pleased. I'm not sure I like the sound of that. Please don't tell me you're getting remarried or something. Dad, I really don't like the sound of that. And so began a very long conversation. Don't tell me that's his bad end. Yep, that's his bad end. Hold on. I actually want to... There we go, yeah. So we can actually just see the hint there. Achi was just trying to be nice, but when he tried to take the attaché case, he walked right into the middle of a police stakeout. His heart was in the right place, but the timing was a bit off. Maybe he should have finished dealing with the garbage first and watched how the situation played out. Go back to Achi's 10:30 and try making a different decision. So it's written as if like you could have gotten that on your own, but we know that you couldn't have because the tutorial kind of like railroaded you. Anyway, oh, we actually need to change the decision because right now it's in like a bad end state. Alright, so first we change this. Alright, so now we should be able to use the time chart. There we go. Now, to follow or not. Let's see. I'm gonna go with what I consider the right choice here, and that's gonna be to follow orders. Let the other officers chase after the guy. Kano had his own job to do. Kuze's instructions had been clear. Let the other officers chase after the guy. He broke off his pursuit, pointing the next wave of detectives in the direction the foreigner had fled. Kano had almost gotten close enough to get a good look at the guy's face, but if Kuze had ordered him to let the guy go, well, his boss should know what he was doing. The perp was someone else's problem now. He had just ceased his pursuit when Kuze's panicked voice sounded shrill in his ear. Ah, someone's taken Itomi. Kano recognized Kuze's trademark squawking immediately. I guess it's gonna be the man with the cane. Subject is male. He appears to be carrying a gun. He's fleeing in the direction of Meiji Dori. What? Kano could hardly believe it. Itomi had been kidnapped. Had she been abducted by whoever had taken Maria? But why? Someone must have been waiting for the moment when the police took their eyes off of her. Something's very wrong here. What in the world is going on? Kano hurried to search for the man who'd taken Hitomi. If he was heading toward Meiji Dori, there was a good chance he'd gone down one of the alleyways nearby. After darting through the side streets, he spotted a different man, another foreigner, crossing an intersection a few dozen meters ahead. The man was dressed in black, just like the guy who'd grabbed the ransom money. Kuse's right, the kidnapper wasn't acting alone. But wait, something was amiss. Hitomi isn't with him. Where was she? Kind of skidded around the corner, then stopped short. Well, the man in black was standing there, pointing a gun right at him. Before Kano could react, the man fired. Ah, so that was a bad end. All except for his cheek, pressed against the asphalt, and the palms of his hands. They felt so cold. So, following orders resulted in a bad end. There was nothing he could do. Nothing, that is, except lie there and watch as his killer turned and walked away. Alright, I don't think we need the hint here. We know exactly what we're gonna do. But, it's like, since it's so obvious, I feel like there's no harm in reading the hint anyway. Like, we know that we just have to choose the other option. Oops. There we go. So, by trying to find the man who'd taken Hitomi, Kano ran into a different criminal, and unfortunately for him, he got shot. If the criminal hadn't been able to get near Hitomi, she probably wouldn't have been taken. Have Achi make the choice to talk to Hitomi instead, at 10:35. Huh. So we could keep going with Achi and do that, but do we want to do that, or do we want to try going back here and choosing the other option? I'm kind of curious what would happen if we choose the other option. This is going to be like a really convoluted game to play, but we're gonna jump over here and we're gonna try choosing the other option here. What was the right call here? Should he take this guy down or back off after all? I think we should. Let's try just seeing what happens when we don't try and let him escape. Letting the perp escape now is too big of a risk. He had to catch this guy ASAP. The man darted down a narrow alleyway. Kano ran faster. The man sprinted through the side streets. Evidently, he knew his way around Shibuya pretty well. Someone's taken Hitomi. Kano recognized Kuse's trademark squawk immediately. Subject is male. He appears to be carrying a gun. He's fleeing in the direction of Meiji Dori. What? Kano could hardly believe it. Hitomi had been kidnapped. Had she been abducted by whoever had taken Maria? But why? Someone must have been waiting for the moment, and the police took their eyes off her. Something's very wrong here. What in the world is going on? Kano saw that the road forked up ahead. The man with the attaché case ran to the left. If the man who'd taken Hitomi was heading towards Meiji Dori, there was a good chance he'd gone down one of the alleyways off to the right. Making a snap judgment, Kano told the detective behind him to follow the case snatcher. Ah, okay. So we just got railroaded into the same choice anyway. We'll probably get that bad end again. Then turned and headed down the nearest alley. After darting through the side streets, he spotted a different man, another foreigner, crossing an intersection a few dozen meters ahead. The man was dressed in black, just like the guy who grabbed the ransom money. Kuse is right, the kidnapper wasn't acting alone. But wait, something was amiss. Hitomi isn't with him. Where was she? Kano skidded around the corner, then stopped short. And there we go. Before Kano could react, the man fired. And we get that bad end anyway. There was nothing he could do. Nothing, that is, except lie there and watch as his killer turned and walked away. Doesn't seem like there's a... It doesn't seem like there's a way to speed through text that we've already seen. But I guess it didn't count it as being already seen since it was a different choice. Maybe. Let's see. So first we're going to switch back to our other choice, because that's the original one that we went with. Then we're going to see how Achi's choice affects that one. And we can press up to go back and reread sections we've already played through. Okay. Okay, so this is the text log. All right. Okay, so what was the right call here? Should we take this guy down or back off after all? We will choose B. And now that we've chosen B, let's go back to Achi. And what happens at this jump point? Maybe if we go here, we could just go back to this point and not jump. Yeah, there we go. Whoa! A nearby homeless man suddenly leapt over Achi. Sprinting alongside him was a young man in a suit. Then, seemingly from everywhere, a whole bunch of other guys burst into motion. First one, then another, a third, a fourth, a fifth. Over a dozen now. What the heck? Yeah, I could see how that would be puzzling to just a random passerby. Clearly something big was going down. Were they after the attaché case? Within moments, Achi lost sight of them all through the crowd. Yeah, and I think that I'm not going to read hints anymore unless I'm actually stuck. We can always go back and read them anytime, after we've already, cleared or done the thing necessary to clear them, so I think I'm not going to read hints, because that last one gave away something that I didn't think of, so yeah. With that many people chasing him, the guy with the case was sure to get caught. But wait, what about that girl? Achi turned back around. The girl was still there. She was staring in the direction that the man who'd taken the case had gone, a worried expression on her face. Achi couldn't shake the feeling that something was very wrong. Maybe he should talk to her and ask what was going on. Another crazy day in Shibuya. They had to be shooting a scene for a film on location. It would probably be a mistake to intrude. Do we want to just get this one out of the way and get the bad end here? That could be fun. Sure, let's do it. Another crazy day in Shibuya. They had to be shooting a scene. It'd probably be a mistake to intrude. Yeah, I bet that's what this is. Some TV show about a kidnapping and the girl has to make the ransom handoff. And there's probably some actor lurking around here playing the suave, handsome detective. Achi gave a chuckle and turned away. Ouch, that's like saying that Kano is not that suave, handsome detective. A soothing breeze blew by as wispy clouds drifted overhead. They picked a nice day for a shoot. Smiling inwardly, he resumed his trash-picking mission, wondering what other surprises the day would hold. A few moments later, he heard a loud bang, and the scramble went into an uproar. Huh, someone blow a tire. Jesus Christ. People were running from all directions to see what had made the sound. Oh, maybe they're shooting an action scene now. Achi was a tad bit curious, but he strolled away from the scramble without looking back. Maybe he'd head out to Yotsuya today to stretch his legs out a bit. Yotsuya is a neighborhood of the Shinjuku ward in the southeastern part of Tokyo, located approximately 4 kilometers northeast of Shibuya Station. While the numbers 428 in Japanese can be pronounced the same as the syllables for the name Shibuya, they can also be pronounced like the syllables for Yotsuya. Additionally, April 28th is both Shibuya Day and Yotsuya Day, along with Seniors Day. Interesting, I didn't know that 428 stood for Shibuya. Interesting. I knew that 4 is she, and it could also be Yon. But 2 as Boo, that is news to me. And same with 2. I guess 2, yeah, 2. And then ya for 8. I can kind of see that because 8 is hachi, so ya, ha, kind of like take the first syllable and it's kind of similar. I don't know. It was best not to get distracted. There was trash that needed collecting. Bad end. Sure. Your future is garbage. I don't think we need to read this hint. We already know that we have to select the other choice. But since we already know that, I guess this one's safe to read. Achi decided to go on collecting trash because he decided the commotion in the scramble was probably just a TV shoot in progress. He'll probably have a pretty uneventful day, which is all well and good for him, but the girl was actually in danger, as he'd have discovered if he had investigated further. He missed his chance to help her out. Go back and try making a different choice. Yep. So, we're going to do that. So we will do that next time. Yeah. So first, I will go here. And now I will end it here. So, until next time, take care, and I will see you then.